You've probably never questioned this, but you should. We tend to imagine our ancestors as a more grounded, serious breed, untainted by the digital hysteria of the modern Internet. Yet in the late summer of 1835, the city of New York completely lost its collective mind over a series of articles printed in the New York Sun. The reports claimed to be reprinted from a prestigious, though entirely fictional, supplement to the Edinburgh Journal of Science. At the center of the supposed breakthrough was Sir John Herschel, one of the most famous and respected astronomers of the era. The articles claimed that Herschel had transported a revolutionary new hydro-oxygen telescope to the Cape of Good Hope. Instead of a dead rock, the moon was allegedly teeming with life, rich forests, sapphire oceans, and strange, geological wonders. First came the flora and fauna, followed swiftly by intelligent inhabitants, upright, amphibious creatures resembling bipedal beavers. And then, in the final, crowning installment of the series, the Sun introduced the Vesperilio Homo, Batmen. The public response was immediate and overwhelming. Circulation skyrocketed, making the Sun the most widely read paper in the world. Universities formed committees to discuss the findings. Rival newspapers reprinted the claims as absolute fact. The man behind the grand deception was a reporter named Richard Adams Locke, a man who understood human nature better than astronomy. Locke hadn't written the pieces to destroy trust in journalism. He wrote them as a satirical jab at the overly grandiose speculative science of his day. Prominent thinkers had been arguing for decades that every planet in the solar system, including the Moon, was densely populated by God-fearing souls. Locke simply took their intellectual musings to their logical, ridiculous extreme, and expected readers to catch the joke. They didn't. In fact, here is the part of the story that most retellings gloss over. Locke didn't hide his tracks out of malice. He practically left neon signs pointing to the fiction, including absurd logical leaps that modern historians find baffling. He included casual mentions of lunar goats with horns like antelopes and temples made of polished sapphire. And yet, educated clergymen and academics verified the reports because the prose was draped in the respectable, dry jargon of Victorian science. It turns out that if you wrap an absurd claim in enough technical-sounding vocabulary, critical thinking takes a polite vacation. We are conditioned to trust the apparatus of authority, whether it's a telescope, a printing press, or an algorithm. The medium has evolved from rag paper broadsheets to pixel-dense feeds, but the underlying vulnerability remains entirely unchanged. Comment below what you think you would have done if you opened your morning paper to read about Batmen in 1835. The psychological mechanism at play is what modern behavioral scientists call confirmation bias on a systemic scale. When a narrative flatters our deepest hopes, in this case, our cosmic loneliness, our brains actively work to disarm skepticism. We look for reasons to believe rather than reasons to doubt, treating comforting plausibility as hard evidence. Eventually, Locke admitted the hoax, expecting the public to laugh along with him at their own gullibility. Instead, many readers felt betrayed, not by their own lack of critical thought, but by the newspaper's audacity. The Batmen vanished back into the ether of forgotten history, leaving behind a permanent scar on the credibility of the press. So the next time you encounter a headline that feels a little too perfectly tailored to your worldview, remember that the urge to believe in monsters on the moon lives in all of us. Subscribe for more deep dives into the strange corners of human history.